Hey everyone, Shy here, back again with some more Black Ops 2 loadouts. This time we're going to go for Search and Destroy. Um, and let's get started with our first class here. This is, uh, a little bit of trickery here. We got the millimeter scanner and the adjustable stock on the AN94. So the millimeter scanner, it will allow us to see through walls and other surfaces and materials up to a certain distance. And the stock allows us to be aimed in and move around quicker. So we can sidestep quicker. We can stay aimed in, looking for people through walls. Um, this sight does get countered by cold-blooded, so definitely keep that in mind. Um, but it is very good, especially on Search and Destroy. We got that paired with a smoke grenade too, so that you can drop a smoke grenade somewhere and then see people through the smoke. So super useful. Then for our perks, this one's kind of up to you. I got Hardline on. It just allows you to get your score streak like a little earlier, which I think is big in Search and Destroy. Getting something like a UAV, an RCXD, one of those smaller kill streaks early is helpful. They make a big difference in Search and Destroy. So I got Hardline on here for now. Then we got Toughness, that's just your standard perk too. And I got Engineer. So if you wanted to have Dexterity, you could take off Hardline and maybe one of your black hats and then run Dexterity and Engineer. I think that would be okay too. I try not to do a whole lot of sprinting with this loadout, so Dexterity doesn't make a huge difference to me. I'm usually trying to take things a little slower, look around corners, look through walls, stuff like that. We got Engineer on here to make use of our black hats, which can hack enemy equipment. So looking for explosives, shock charges, stuff like that, trophy systems. So Engineer in combination with our black hats is going to help us a lot. I don't think you really need a secondary on this loadout. If you really wanted, you could get rid of Hardline or get rid of one of these and put on a pistol or something. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this loadout. But it does get hard countered by cold-blooded pretty hard. And that's about it for that one. So we'll go on to our anti-grenade loadout. So, Search and Destroy, a lot of people are running different kinds of equipment. So here we have an anti-nade loadout. So we got the M8A1, this is the burst weapon, 4-round burst. You can put whatever sight on it you want. I have the hybrid optic. It's an ACOG and a red dot sight. It allows you to switch between the two. So you can go red dot for like short to mid range and then pop the ACOG for people who are farther away or harder to see. And then I have FMJ. If you wanted to replace that with stock, you could. I don't think you really need something like quick draw or anything on this class. I wouldn't go for it personally. FMJ is nice because let's say, 2 or 3 of your bullets hit someone and then one of them hits the cover they're hiding behind or something like that, Having the extra material penetration is nice for weapons like this, I find. And I like to run a secondary if I'm running something that isn't fully auto. So we got the TAC 45, but if you wanted, go for the 5.7 or the Cap 40 or kind of whatever floats your boat. And then anti-grenade, so we have flak jacket and tac mask. That'll protect us from most enemy equipment, at least somewhat. And toughness, our standard perk 2. And we have dexterity on here as well. Pretty standard, and then I have an EMP grenade here. You could put something else on if you want. EMP grenades are nice to have on one of your loadouts. And it's very rare that someone is actually running hardwired. So having an EMP grenade is pretty clutch. Just allows you to disable enemy electronics, equipment, stuff like that. God forbid if somebody, maybe they popped a care package and got a sentry gun or a guardian, or maybe they're just like going beast mode and got one of those just anyways, So having an EMP just to nullify that real quick is nice. EMPs can show location decently well too, because they have a decent blast radius and they can hit through walls. So, if somebody's hiding behind cover, hiding behind a wall, maybe they're in like inside a building and you throw it right up against the wall on the outside of the building, you can hit them with this EMP and know that they're there. So I like having the EMP on here. I think I'm also pretty happy with this loadout. These are both great weapons. I think all the weapons I went with here are all pretty like meta weapons. That brings us to, whoa, my controller's going crazy. Teh Sneaky One. So take your gun of choice. I'm gonna go with the Scar H, and put a suppressor on it, and then whatever else you want. I really like running quick draw, but totally up to you. And then we got Ghost. So if the enemy team has a UAV and they call it in at the start of the match, I'll switch to a loadout like this that has Ghost on it. And if it's early enough in the match, you'll be able to switch your loadout. So then I will be off of the UAV and not have to worry about it. If one of my teammates can't just like take it down. If one of us is running Black Hat or something, then it's not a big deal. Someone can just put the UAV down, but otherwise, having a class with Ghost on it is nice. It is tough though if the other team, you know, is knowledgeable and waits before they pop the UAV. Then you just have to hope that either you're already running Ghost or somebody's running something like a Black Hat or some kind of way to take that UAV out of the air as quick as possible. The goal of this class is to remain pretty hidden, you know, pretty quiet, pretty sneaky. So Ghost will keep us off those UAVs. We got Toughness, pretty much an essential perk to run, and then Cold-Blooded. So that's going to keep us off of thermal sights, target finder, sensor grenades, millimeter scanner, stuff like that. And when someone aims at you, you're not going to get the red name above your head. So sometimes I can trick someone up thinking that maybe you're their teammate for a second, or maybe they see you and they're almost unsure of it just because they didn't get that confirmation. So yeah, the goal with this class is to be pretty sneaky. So we also have Dead Silence and Awareness. If you don't want to, you know, try to be listening for other players' footsteps, you can swap Awareness for whatever else you want. Like I think Dexterity is a fine pick there. I got Awareness on just because I think it's kind of fun, like having silent footsteps and then trying to listen in to other players, but it depends on how you feel about that. Black Ops 2 is not a super heavy footstep COD, so do with that as you will. But definitely use Dead Silence. Nice to have like one class where you just move silently. And that brings us to our fourth class. This is Mr. Carried. This is if you're kind of bad at the game and you just need something kind of corny, kind of cheesy to get you some kills. So we got Target Finder Select Fire on our FAL. This gun is really good. We got Toughness and Dexterity for our perks, and then 2 Bouncing Betties and 2 Shock Charges. So this allows us to kind of cut off lanes, or you can put the Bouncing Betty and the Shock Charge next to each other, and the Shock Charge will stun the other player, and then it'll allow the Bouncing Betty to come up and kill them, instead of them running past it or trying to go prone when they hear the Bouncing Betty like sound effect. So yeah, not much to say about this one. It's pretty standard, just like cheesy, you know. And having all this equipment is nice for Search and Destroy, especially if there's not someone on the other team running like Engineer or EMP grenades or whatever, you know, like this can get pretty crazy pretty fast. And then I actually have 2 more. I'm gonna kind of change this one a bit, and then we'll make it 6. So this is the Shmovement one. I think you know, Search and Destroy, a lot of people play it pretty slow. I think having a loadout where you are super movement based is pretty nice to have. Just allows you to reach areas quicker and more consistently early in the match. If you're trying to rush to a certain spot, you could swap. If you don't want to run a SMG, you could go for an AR or something like that. But all these have been ARs, so I figured I'd make one with an SMG. So yeah, this is just get from point A to point B as fast as possible, pretty much. I got a sensor grenade on here just because I don't have one on any of the other loadouts, and they're nice to have. I got a grenade on here. Don't have a grenade on any of those either. So once again, just something that's nice to have on one of your loadouts. And And then we're just running MSMC with quick draw and laser sight. So you can change these if you want. I would keep one of them, like if you're gonna ADS or hip fire. I just like the ability to do both quickly and efficiently, so I have them both on here. And then we got lightweight and dexterity and extreme conditioning for our movement perks. And then toughness, once again, our essential perk 2. I think you could change this up a bit if you wanted. If you want like 2 sensor grenades, if you wanted a sensor grenade and like a claymore or something, you could. You know, it's kind of up to you. Whatever floats your boat. And then I'm gonna turn this into our final class I'd like to go over, which is kind of like a bit of coverage. So we're gonna go with the Scorpion. I'm gonna slap quick draw, long barrel. Those are attachments that I like to use. And then we're gonna go overkill. We're gonna take a DSR 50 with the dual band, which is the thermal sight. Oops, let's get rid of some stuff. There we go. That leaves us one more slot. We're gonna take a smoke grenade so that we can drop a smoke and use the thermal sight to see through it and hide behind the smoke, basically. And I would say this is kind of our final loadout here for the day, our 6th and final one. Just standard on the perks, and then our Scorpion's gonna allow us to melt people up close, and maybe in like the short to mid range. And then the DSR is gonna allow us to cover long sight lines and see other players easier. And we got that smoke grenade, so if you're in a pickle or if you want to pin someone down or cut off someone's way to be able to really access you easily, you can drop that smoke, get the thermal sight out, and buy yourself a little time or some cover or whatever it is that you need, So that's gonna be our final class of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed. Those are some sweaty search and destroy loadouts. Feel free to tweak them as you wish. They're kind of more of a blueprint, and then you can do with it what you want. But if you're unsure of what to run, here's some ideas, to pique your interest a little bit. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.